Hi, it's Amy Throat. Well, as you know, I suffer from depression and anxiety and all that bullshit. And I finally realized I didn't even notice that I was out of my medication. I take Cymbalta. And oh, I burped a little bit. Isn't that precious? Excuse me. Break. Okay. God, it's iced tea, unsweetened. I'm unorganized. Anywho, I in my a video so ago I said stuff about my parents and that we were verbally abused. I just want to also say that Sarah and I, yes, we were abused. We went to Catholic school where I was told that I was messing around when all the boys were running after me, grabbing my boobs and my crotch, which is not my fault, but I was messing around. That's what the teacher said, Miss Roller. She's a bitch. But anyway, um, I understand a lot of people suffer that. A lot of people do. And also, it's not my parents' fault because you know what? All parents fuck up their kids. All parents fuck up their kids. You may think you've got it. If you're a parent that you don't do that, you do. You fuck them up. And you can't help it because you know what? You're a human. And humans fuck up. So my parents were wonderful. And I miss my dad so much. I miss his touch everywhere. As soon as he would come over, they'd always come through the side door and come into the kitchen. Mom would come in the kitchen, hey, dad, hi, down the basement. He was out checking things out. And then he'd come up and, he never felt the thing I loved most about dad. My mom used to admonish him about it, but he felt like this home was his home. So he'd come into the kitchen and just get out. We always had beer for him, and he'd have a beer and whatever crackers, cheese, whatever we had, he'd get into. And my mom would be like, Ed, and he's like, what? But I loved it because, I mean, that's how it was when I went to their house. I felt like I could just go in and get something to eat or drink. Not so much when my older sister moved in, then it was like weird. But anyway, she's weird. But, it wasn't as free, obviously, because, they were sharing everything. But I just want to put it that out there that, really it's nobody's fault. A lot of people go through far worse and come out awesome, famous, strong, become billionaires, so it's not, I made wrong choices as a kid. Unfortunately, I made the choice to feel like I was a bad girl, that I was bad. No matter what I did, I was bad. And my parents didn't love me. And my sisters were mean to me, and they were. Of course, they were. Because that's what it is. You fight, but my mom used to always say, "You're too sensitive," and I am very sensitive. Somebody could look at me the wrong way, and I'm gonna feel like, "Oh, can I slit my throat now, or should I do it later?" And over the years, I've gotten stronger. Really, nobody can really put me down. Even if somebody's like, "You're fat" or whatever, I'm like, "Yeah." Um, the only people who can really hurt me now are my mom, my sister Becky, and my sister Sarah. Those are the only people who can really hurt my feelings. And the good thing is that they never. Sarah, she went through a stage when she was in the nursing home where she used to always tell me, "You're getting fat." And I'm like, I know. And she had lost all this weight, right? Due to the seriousness of her illness. But she's gained it back, unfortunately. But, Sarah and I have never been like competitive. At least I didn't think so until we were older. But she, and over silly things. But we never in our whole life, I mean, we always wanted each other, I think, I would rather lose than have Sarah not win. You know what I mean? That's how I looked at it. So, But I also want to talk about, the holidays. This Be kind to people, really. Not just because it's the holidays, but because you can see my artwork back there. It's the damage when the roof wasn't. Now I got to get that fixed. I wonder how much that'll cost. Ooh, I think of it as artwork. But anywho, some people might disagree. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, the holiday seasons are really hard. Okay. I am suffering. I found myself today with my shoulders like that. I mean, I don't relax. I'm tense. And then I'm like, relax. I'm like, okay. You know, it's really hard. And I know that the only person who can help me right now is me. So that's what I'm working on right now. Godsmacky. And I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to read and write in my journal. I haven't written in my journal since I don't even know when, maybe a year. And I've been writing in a journal since I was in second grade. I wish I could find that second grade journal. It was just a little address book that I found, but I used it as a journal. And I was in love with Matt Custer. I think we're friends on Facebook. I don't know if we are. But I was in love with him. I would walk by. He was a grade older than mine. So I was in second grade. He was in third. And I would walk past his classroom, like I'd be saying, I need to go to the restroom. And my classroom was at one end of the hall, his was at the other. And I would walk past his classroom and, he'd look over as I walked by and I'd be like, oh, ah. I loved him so much. And I remember writing about how much I love Matt Custer. It's so silly. And, then in high school, we had math class together, and the teacher was shit. All the math teachers I've ever had in my life, shit. Okay? I think that math teachers sometimes are so arrogant and rude and lazy because they don't want to take the time to teach people who have a hard time understanding math. It's just a simple, if I was a math teacher, I would want to know how to teach everyone the correct way. But I remember the teacher said something, and it was kind of rude to me about my intelligence. And Matt Custer said, give her a break. And the teacher was like, and he's like, give her a break. I mean, he kind of took control of the situation. I don't know if he remembers that, but I remember looking at him and thinking, now I remember how much I loved you because he stood up for me in math class. Matt Custer, if you ever hear this, I loved you in second grade. I loved you. But anywho, we weren't meant to be together. Um, but anyway, I just want to tell everybody, be kind to everybody because there are people like me who are alone. I'm totally alone every day. And, it's not that I don't interact with people, but rarely, I occasionally do a Zoom call with a group, but they're all over the place. I mean, up in Connecticut, and, it's not like they're close by. I don't have friends that I can just call because everybody's in quarantine if they're smart or working or taking care of their own family. So I'm on my own, and sometimes that's really hard. I realized yesterday when I was pulling in the drive, and my driveway is shit. It needs to be fixed so bad. And I just remember that thinking that if something happened, if I was hurt, there's nobody I could call. I have no family here that I can rely on. So sometimes it scares me, like when I'm getting up on a ladder or standing on a chair, I do get scared. And I think, please, God, don't let me fall because I'm alone. And, I've gotten stronger since I've been alone, but it's also harder. And especially during the holidays, many times when those commercials come on and things like that, you kind of feel like saying fuck you, and I do. I often say fuck you. I'm turning the TV off. It's been on too many hours, but Barry's like, what? But yeah, number one goal right now for me is to take care of myself because I haven't been, obviously. And, I saw this thing that I've seen before, but it's like pick your hard. It's hard to be fat and unhealthy, but it's also hard to be healthy and strong because it's work either way. So, I've decided to choose me, and it's so hard because as soon as I say that, I feel guilty. I feel so sorry for Sarah because she has a sister who can't take care of her. I mean, I can't physically take care of her. And I know that she would flourish if she was home. If she could be home, because when she was home before, it's like she got better and better. All of a sudden, she's reading books again. And she was reading in the nursing home, and now she's stopped. And I keep asking her, and she's like, it's because I can't read. So I don't know if her brain is getting worse. I don't know because she was reading before. So just say a prayer for Sarah, please. And I wish I was strong like Superman and I could just pick her up with my fingertips and take care of her. But I can't do it. If I was younger, I mean in my 20s I was at the group home and I had to lift people and shit. It was hard. And that's how I hurt my knees and everything, my back. I think I've got all my injuries from working in that group home. So it was an awful experience, but it was also the best experience of my life because I met some really cool people that I still love to this day, even though I never see them. And one of those people is Sean, and we divorced. We had a period where we didn't talk. We kind of had a problem, but then when Sarah had her first stroke or second stroke, third stroke, I connected with Craig, and then Craig and Sean were partners. And then I remember coming to the door and Sean answering, and he was so like, there he was, and then you just regret any time you wasted. And I wish I could be with him because, upcoming Christmas. Last year I was so sad and I had fallen down off the stairs backwards in the basement because the steps are broken. And I was so sad and I was in so much pain and I visited Sarah and it was good to see her, but then um on Christmas Day I was so sad and I was just gonna stay alone and Sean's get your ass over here before your entire Christmas is ruined. And he was right, I went over there and it was Larry and Sean and Craig and Zoe and the doggy. And it was great. I turned to him and I told him, you were right. I'm so glad I came over because, and now he's not here. And, you know, I just remember after Dad died, Sean really kind of took it upon himself because he had met Dad a few times and worked with Dad on my car. And so he felt he had to take upon himself to take care of Sarah and I. And he came over one day in shorts, an old ragged shirt, and flip flops on an icy day. Everything was ice everywhere. And sprinkled salt all over our porch and all over the driveway. And I told Dad about it. He's like, thank him, tell him thank you for taking care of my girls. I really miss my dad. I mean, holidays, I never saw him really because I didn't go to family get togethers for obvious reasons, but not because of mom and dad. And, but we'd always see him, they'd come over later after their family party or the next day, or we'd go over there after. And it was like he was so happy and he told me one Christmas or Thanksgiving, I'm not sure which, but he said it's so nice to come over here. And like they hadn't even eaten much at their Thanksgiving and the family Thanksgiving. And then they come over to our house and Dad said it's so nice to sit down and have a meal served to you instead of having to do all the serving because that's just how they were. They were the hosts. But Dad would sit down, and I remember that was the first year I made corn pudding, and he was so in love with that. And he was like, I wouldn't mind having more corn pudding. I'm like, eat it all. I really miss him. My dad, he was the best. I mean, he was imperfect, of course. But, he always figured stuff out. He always think he was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's this, but I think it's that. And I would call him and say, guess what, Dad? You were right. And it would make him feel so good to know that he was right. And he was so hilarious. I mean, that was what was fun about being around Dad, is that he was so much funny, so funny all the time. And he would come up with the most hysterical things to say and ironic observations. And, Mom was always like, Eddie, Mom was in charge, she ran the house. And so smart, had no fear. Off she'd go, and she was the one that told us, you're never lost, you're just misplaced. So, but I miss my parents. And, I'm telling you, holidays without anybody, it doesn't even feel like a holiday. I think about how exciting this time was for me. When I was a kid, or even in my 20s and 30s, it was still like, put up the Christmas tree and buy each other gifts, and Mom and Dad and the puppies, whatever dogs we have, we've always had them. I'm making Peaches upset because I'm crying. I'm okay, Peaches. I'm okay. Yes. Oh, she's got to come and check on me. I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh, I'm okay, Barry. I'm okay. See, you got to watch it because they get affected. So I try not to cry and stuff because they get upset. But we're going to go to bed. Aren't we? Going to go to bed. You want to go to bed, Barry? Huh? Yeah. You too, Peaches? Yes, Peaches. Poor Peaches. She's going through menopause, I think. She's always hot. I'm sorry, baby. I'm not turning the heat off, though. Everything's okay. That's your corner, isn't it? Yeah. I'm also scared because, these dogs are getting older and older, and Sarah's not here. And she loves them so much. When we talk, on FaceTime, she barely wants to talk to me or see me. It's the dogs. Thank you, Peaches. She loves them so much, Barry and Peaches. And they're old people now. They're old. Barry's blind, has diabetes. And Peachy is overweight, though I don't know how because she rarely enjoys anything that we have to eat. And she eats her doggy food, but that's it. We'll see. We're not worried about it. You're okay, but she's always hot. But anyway, I just wanted to let everybody know, be kind because you never know who's suffering out there, You never know. And I'll find it, I'll find my zippity doo-dah. It's in here. It's just on pause for a minute. Remember to take your antidepressants. If you're like me, I ran out and didn't even notice. I'm a ding dong. I posted about the panic attack. I mean, I had that panic attack for like 4 days. And finally, I thought, call the doctor and see what the hell. It's like I don't think about things. And they got my Cymbalta, and then within 2 days, I was much better. So don't forget your medicine, and there's no shame in mental illness. It's just like if you had the flu or COVID, should you be ashamed if you caught COVID or anything? Look what Barry does. He likes to, I always say he's seasoning me up for when I fall dead and they have to eat something. He's tenderizing my arm for when he has to eat me. Aren't ya? Anyway, That's all I wanted to say. And I also want everyone to have a very happy holiday. I do. I hope people are really happy and really joyful. And I hope I can be too, but I don't know. You never know when you're going to cry, do you? I gotta move this undust can someday. It's always in my videos. But anyway, yeah, he's really going to town. He's like, she is delicious. See, I mean, he's gonna eat me. I'm gonna collapse dead, and he's gonna be like, finally, she is so flavorful. God, fucker. All right, well, we're all connected, and I love you all, and thank you for watching my videos. If you like them, please subscribe, comment, like. I would appreciate it. I'd like to build it a little bit, add more. So if you like it, let me know. All right, peace, everybody. I love you. We're all connected.